Order this regular school board meeting on Monday, February 9th. And would like to record the members present and absent. We've done that, so we've established a quorum, so now we'll stand for the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, so we're at item number 5, approval of the agenda. What's the motion for that?
So moved.
Motion by Melanie,
Second.
second by Joel. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passed. Okay, we're gonna do approval of the consent agenda, items 7 through 9, which includes the approval of the minutes from the January 12th meeting and the approval of the bills that Jordan and Joel looked through, and everything looked like it was in good order, fellas. And then accept the retirement request from our superintendent, Joel Jorgensen, effective at the end of the 25-26 contract, and Genevieve Vanden Hempel as food service effective the end of 25-26 school year. We're going to accept the resignation of Preston Nordling and Houston Lundy, elementary teachers, effective upon completion of the 25-26 contract. We're going to request a hire Jeff Larson as a driver's educational classroom instructor at $36.05 per hour, and Marshall Dennert as driving instructor at $23 per hour. So I'm looking for a motion to do those consent agenda items. So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
I guess that was, you get the names? It was Jordan and
Got it, yeah.
Kirsty. Opposed? Motion passed. So, we are to number 10, hearing of delegations and written communications. School patrons will be given the opportunity to address the school board regarding items that are not on the agenda. The board will not hear personal complaints about the staff. The president will limit the speakers to a reasonable amount of time. Persons addressing the board are asked to speak from the table in front of the board. And I see no one here to address the board. So we're going to move on to number 11, administrators' reports.
Doing what I can here to talk. Building project update. Carpet's going in, 3 of the classrooms are carpeted, however they're waiting on some carpet right now to come in for the other classroom hallways, so on. Still doing some painting. Carpet is in the counselor's, the counselor's office as well. The elevator's going in today. I started doing that. That'll be, I think, obviously a 3-day process to get that in, so 3-4 days we'll figure. The glass out front is done. We got those last couple of windows in. And on the inside, the upper glass is done. The second set of doors, that's not in yet. Moving along on the outside, all the sidewalk is done, sort of. And they'll try to do some fill here. I think it sounds like in the next couple of weeks, they'll probably take that fence down, portable fence will come down. Other than that, moving along, the only setbacks, and I think we got February 20, is that Tuesday? Excuse me. 24th? February 24th is going to be a walkthrough punch list type. A substantial completion in early March now, depending on when this carpet comes in. Legislative update, I'm just going to go through a handful of bills. I'm not going to go through all 41 yet, but Senate Bill 8 permitting schools to use the epinephrine nasal spray, that's moving forward. That should fly through. Senate Bill 85, which was going to require an election for any capital outlay certificates or any opt-outs, that failed on the House floor, which is good. Senate Bill 106 is increasing the extraordinary costs fund, that's a special ed fund, up to $5 million, and then putting a percentage increase on that. so they don't have to go to it every year because it's one short. So if the CPI is 3%, that's what that fund would increase by. That's where you can go to that fund to get dollars from SPED if you're have an extraordinary cost situation. And that went to appropriations with the due pass recommendation. A lot of these that go to appropriations with the due pass, it doesn't mean they're gonna go through. It just means appropriations are gonna start deciding, prioritizing which ones they're gonna keep moving forward. I think that one moved. There was a bill up there, Senate Bill 157, to do 2-year averaging or your enrollment. That used to be how it was for a number of years until the blue ribbon came along. And what that did is if you were dropping 20 kids, you got to use last year's enrollment and this year's and average it. So instead of dropping 20, it looked like you were dropping 10. And we knew that would go down. That failed within the 41st day. House Bill 1072, creation of a cardiac emergency plan. That went to appropriations with the due pass. We review cardiac every in-service, and the school nurse goes through it all, and then the AEDs walk you through it, but this would be a plan that would have to be added to your emergency plan. It would also require a team within the school to be recognized as your cardiac team, and then it would require at least 3 hours of training. I'm not sure what the 3 hours of training would be because the AED training is not tough training. It walks you through it. So we'll see where it goes. I think it's going to go through. Nothing wrong with it. It's just a matter of what condition we may have to do to have that in place. Provide for carrying a concealed pistol by certain district employees. House Bill 1129, that went to the 41st day. House Bill 1187, add coaches to the list of mandatory reporters. That passed House Judiciary. But still moving forward. That's not a bad thing. House Bill 1213, make appropriation for a statewide educator retention initiative, and it's sort of unclear. It's about hiring an outside service, basically. And it was a $2.5 million appropriation, and this went to appropriations. Sounds like it makes some sense to try this, but it wouldn't be for every school. And the fact it's got a $2.5 million price tag on it, I don't know that it's going to make it past appropriations in a year when the funds aren't there. Require the display of the state motto in schools. That passed House Ad 87, like most things. So it'll go on now to the next step. Admission of children younger than 5 to kindergarten. That got sent to the 41st day, which is good. Upcoming dates, February 13th and 17th, no school for President's Day weekend. Then we get into March. March 4th is an early release for teacher in service. And March 18th, right, 18th and 20th, not 18th, whatever that Wednesday, Thursday, Friday is, 18th and 20th, and a spring break in March. That's all I got, unless you have questions.
I'll spare your voice for my questions unless they're...
Good, and there's more bills that we're following, but a lot of them aren't, they're not gonna go anywhere, so, until we get to the last 2 weeks. And I think there's talk up there of trying to get money for schools. I'm afraid it may be one-time money, and I'm going to we'll see.
All right, that's it for the administrative reports. Mr. Brooks, no vacancy. Okay, so we're to item number 12, present the board members with the Associated School Board of South Dakota Appreciation Certificates.
I'm gonna read a real short one. He's gonna read one from the governor, but in recognition of dedicated leadership in public education and for improving achievement for all public school students, Associated School Boards of South Dakota honors the Madison Central School District. South Dakota School Board Recognition Week, February 16th through 20th. Shane Roth, ASBSD President. I'll let Mitch read from the governor while I hand these out.
Executive Proclamation, State of South Dakota, Office of the Governor. Whereas the education of our public school children is vital to our state's prosperity and to the opening and to opening the doors of opportunity to every citizen. And whereas the 845 men and women serving on public school boards are dedicated local leaders who devote many hours of community service to provide a responsive and transformative public education system to maximize South Dakota's investment in public education. And whereas local public school board members believe all children can learn and are committed to improvement, excellence, and progress in education. And whereas the members of the public school board build strong relationships within their communities to ensure the success of their school districts. And whereas we encourage local public school districts and their community leaders to recognize dedicated public school board members. Now therefore, Larry Roden, Governor of the State of South Dakota, do hereby proclaim February 16th, 2026 as 2026 South Dakota School Board Recognition Week. Signed by the Governor.
So thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, we're to item number 13. Consider the approval of the 26-27 schooling start date in the district calendar.
You want to pull it up, Dan? So the main change from last year to this year is that the main change from last year to this year is in the last number of years we've had open house, or we've had in-service Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and open house Thursday, Friday. And we were off started the next week. This year we're going to have in-service house Monday, Tuesday, and first day of class Wednesday. Otherwise, the rest of the dates pretty well correlate with last year. The one change last year got a really long Christmas break because of the 19th. This year it won't be till the 22nd.
So Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, what were those dates, like the number dates?
12th, 13th, and 14th is the in-service days in August, and then 17th and 18th is the open house. The first day of school is the 19th.
Was there a reason behind the change?
There was two different ones proposed to them,
Okay.
and that's the one they liked
Okay.
most, so. It really made no difference in how they wanted it. It's
And then-
funny because every place I've been, it's one way, and then about 3 years later, it switched a different way, and then about 3 or 4 years later, it switched back the other way, so.
And the them is the
Staff.
administration group or the staff?
Yeah, the staff.
The staff.
It's put in each of the rooms, and then they had their comments on calendars, and it was over there, I believe, that calendar be. And graduation then is on the 16th of May. And the last day of school is on the 18th of May.
That's for the 26-27 school year.
Correct.
All right, I have not had any really complaints about the calendar for quite some time, so that's good.
I would make a motion to go ahead and approve the district's calendar for the 26-27 school year.
Very good, Lori, with the motion.
Second.
Second by Melanie. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passed. Okay, item number 17. We're not skipping any numbers, it was just 13. Got it.
Clerical error.
Yep. Anyway, so the next item on the agenda is executive session in accordance with South Dakota Codified Law 1-25-2, Section 1 for personnel matters.
So moved.
Motion by Melanie, second by Jordan. And we will be in executive session at 5:46.